2025. But if you can hear me and I'm audible enough, just type in a yes into the chat so I know that we are good to go. Type in a yes into the chat if you can hear me and I'm audible. Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. So just before we get started, I'd like to know where you are joining us from. Okay, so if you are joining us from London, from Edmonton, from Calgary, from Chicago, Illinois, type into the chat, where are you joining us from today? Type into the chat, where are you joining us from? Okay, Swansea, Lagos, Washington, Nigeria, absolutely fantastic. Let's keep it going. Kenya, brilliant, welcome. Dr. Asma from India, Mabel from Ontario, Poland, United Kingdom, absolutely fantastic. So let's get started with our session. We're going to have an amazing time. And if you know anybody that should be here today that is not here, share this link with them, get them to join the session, and let's have a beautiful, fantastic session together. You have a colleague in the office, you have a friend, you have a family member, get them on the call, and let's have an amazing time together. So our session today would center around high-paying and visa-sponsored jobs to look out for in 2025. So 2024 is gone already, and 2025 is upon us. So getting into the new year, what are the areas you'd like to get into? For so many people, they started 2024 on a high note, wanted to get jobs as data analysts, as data scientists, transition into the tech ecosystem, but some have been able to, some have not been able to. If you want to make that transition in 2025, you want to be in this session today, all right? So just before we get started, if you've joined any of our free sessions, any of our tech series, masterclasses in the past, this is not the first Tenalytics session you are joining today. Type in a yes into the chat. If you've joined us before, you've joined one of our sessions in the past, type in a yes into the chat, okay? So Mabel is joining again. Olalekan, you are all welcome to the session once again. And for those of you joining in newly, welcome to a Tenalytics Tech Series session where we guide you on how to select the right career path, the areas where you should look out for to get into progressive career path that will stay relevant over the next 10 years and beyond. All right? So let's dive into our session for today. Now, just before we start, who is Tenalytics and what are we all about? Tenalytics is a leading educational technology company, and the focus for us is on helping Africans in Africa and Africans in the diaspora to transition into the tech ecosystem. And over the last 4 years, we've helped over 2,500 people to make that jump from no tech background, driving them from the classroom into their very first jobs within the tech ecosystem across the major economies in the US, in the UK, Canada, Europe, across Africa, and so on. And the areas we focus on borders around data analytics, business analysis, data science, data engineering, and so many other areas. A lot of people try to get into these career paths, but one major problem that they face is they don't know where to start. They don't know how to start. Some people start by going to YouTube, they start by going to Udemy, but then they make a lot of mistakes. And number one mistake is, if I want to become a data science, for example, what's that underlying background knowledge I need to get before I build on that? And that's where I see a lot of people making mistakes, selecting the right career path and also how to start and where to start. We've been doing this for the last 4 years. We've helped over 2,500 people. And I'll be sharing with you today how we have been so successful in helping people that look like me, people from the Black community, Africans in the diaspora, Africans in Africa, to make that transition. And I'll be leading the session with you today. My name is Adeza Suleiman, and I'm the founder of Tenalytics. I have over a decade experience in data analytics and management consulting. So just like so many of you, my first degree was nothing in computer science. I have no computer science background, no technology background. My first degree was in industrial chemistry. And my very first professional job straight out of the university was in management consulting. But I made that transition and I was able to make the switch, getting into data analytics. And 10 years after, we've helped over 2,500 people to also transition and land their very first jobs within the tech ecosystem. I've worked as a data science consultant in the UK and in the US. I've worked with one of the largest energy conglomerates in sub-Saharan Africa, and I've worked as a data analytics consultant with FITC, owned by the CBN and the Bankers Committee in Nigeria. I've worked across 5 major sectors in energy, automobile, financial services, educational technology, and sports. And I would also share with you how I was able to make the transition across different sectors, because that's also one of the major challenges. For some of you, you are currently care workers in the healthcare space, in the healthcare sector. How do you make the transition from being a care worker into a data analyst or business analyst or data scientist, as the case might be? I currently reside in Alberta, Canada, and I'll be leading the session with you today. And our session would cut across 4 key areas. The first thing I'll show you is the in-demand tech roles for you to consider. If you want to get sponsorship in the UK, for example, you want to land a sponsored job, you want to get a remote job, you're in the US, you want to get a job where you can get petitioned for a H-1B visa and so on and so forth. Where are the areas to look out for? Then I'll show you how to get started. So I talked about data science the other time. What's that foundation you need to build before you dive into Python and machine learning? Python sounds fancy. Machine learning sounds fancy. So a lot of people think to become a data scientist, I need to start with Python. But if you start with Python, what you are doing is equivalent to building a house and starting from the roof instead of building the foundation. So I'll show you how to get started in all the different career paths. Then I'll introduce you to our upcoming cohorts of the programs we have coming up on the 7th of December and also on the 4th of January, 2025. And finally, for those who stay till the end, I'll introduce you to the amazing, amazing offer and the discounts we have for you going into the new year. All right? One of the major issues we have across different economies is we don't have enough Africans and people of the Black community within the tech ecosystem. I've lived in the UK, I've worked in the UK, and the majority of people you would find, because the goal is sponsorship at the end of the day. I want to get my sponsorship. I want to work as a skilled user with a skilled worker visa over the space of 5 years. I want to apply to get my ILR, my indefinite leave to remain, and eventually I want to become a British citizen. That's what a lot of people want to do. So you tend to find so many people, a whole lot, following one direction, which is the health and care visa. So they become care workers, domiciliary care workers, and so on and so forth, which is not bad in itself. But there are so many other opportunities available outside the health and care sector. And these are some of the things we'll discuss today. We need more Africans, more people that look like me, more people that look like us within the tech ecosystem. And according to Oxford Migration Observatory, they carried out a research and a study which showed that for every 100 health and care staff hired, 30 were Africans. So out of every 100 health and care employee hired in the UK, 30 of them were Africans. So that's 30%. However, for every 100 tech-related role where employees were hired for, only 6 were Africans. So we have a shortage of representation within the tech ecosystem, and the opportunities are massive. There are jobs available, the jobs are there for you. However, you don't have enough people getting into these areas. So what's the problem? What's the challenge? And there are two key reasons you would find. Number one is people don't apply. Okay, they outrightly don't apply to get these jobs. That's number one reason why you have a shortage of representation. Number two, for those who go ahead and apply, they don't have the requisite skills to get those jobs. Okay, so you find them going to interviews and they are asked competency-based questions, but they cannot answer. And then they fail out and they drop out of the process. So these are the two key reasons why you have very low representation of Africans, people of the Black community within the tech ecosystem. So the question is, if the opportunities are massive, oh, Adeza, you're saying the opportunities are massive, the demand in the tech ecosystem is unbelievable. Where are the opportunities? Okay, so one major mistake I've seen a lot of people make for the hundreds, thousands of people I've mentored over the years is people tend to follow what their friend says. Their friend who is not an expert. Okay, their friend tells them that, oh, all you need to do is get into this career path and you're home and dry. Become a product manager, become a software tester. You hear lots of people talking about things like that. But the question is, have you sat down to do your own research? How do you identify the opportunities within the area that you currently reside? So I'll show you how to do that today, okay? Because one of the things we do at Tenalytics is to carry out research, analyze data to identify where the opportunities are, okay? So every single year, one of the things we do is we scrape data from the major job boards, right? From your Indeed, Glassdoor, ZipRecruiter, Total Jobs, CV Library, read.co.uk, and so on and so forth. We scrape data from these job boards to identify the career path that are in demand, the career path that has the highest frequency for organizations hiring for those specific roles. So we analyze the data to identify those career paths. Now, when we identify the career paths that are in demand, we juxtapose them against three major criteria. And the first criterion is ease of learning. Now, there are so many career paths that are high in demand. One very good, popular one is software engineering. Okay? Software engineering is a fantastic career path. However, is it easy to learn? The answer is no. Software engineering will take you roughly between 12 months to 18 months to learn the front end, to become a front end and a back end software developer. So it takes quite a while for you to pick up the skills. In that case, it doesn't meet the first criterion of easy to learn, even though it's a career path that is high in demand. Same with robotics, same with blockchain engineering. If you want to become a robotics engineer today, you need to have prerequisites in electronics, electrical engineering, and so on and so forth, which means you have to go back to the university, do a master's, and something like that. So it's not easy to learn. So we needed to identify the career paths that are easy to learn, even though they're in high demand. So what can I learn within the space of 4 to 5 months? Okay, apply the skills, work on projects, and I can start applying to jobs. So that was the first criterion we looked at. Then we moved to the criterion of ease of transitioning. And what does this simply mean? Now, it doesn't matter if I'm a customer service representative. I can learn to become a data analyst. I can work on projects, learn the skill, solve problems, build a portfolio, apply to jobs, and get the job. I could be a care worker and become a business analyst. I could be a procurement professional and become a project manager. So that's the ease of transition. You're not limited to your previous experience, or your previous background. So we needed to add that criterion as well. And finally, the career path must have high and rewarding salaries. So we looked at these, 3 criteria, and we came up with these career paths, 8 of them. So if you want to dive into the tech ecosystem today, the tech ecosystem is very broad and there's so many areas, but you need to be able to narrow it down. So we've narrowed it down based on these 3 criteria and being the career paths that are high in demand. And you have the business analyst, the agile project manager / scrum master, the data analyst, the data scientist, the data engineer, the cybersecurity analyst, the financial analyst, and the HR analyst. So these are the 8 career paths that if you get into any of these areas, you'd find yourself in a job in the shortest time possible. So I want you to take a note, make a note of these 8 career paths because we'll come back to them. So the question is, how do I become a data analyst? What does a business analyst do? And how do I become one? And I'm going to walk you through that extensively before we wrap up today. Now, when we did this analysis and we came up with these 8 career paths, we needed to validate that what we've done aligns with the trends within the economy, the jobs within the economy, the future of work in the next 5 to 10 years. Will these career paths remain relevant? And one of the articles we always go to is the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report. And it's available to anybody who wants to look at it. But what I've also done is I've kept the link for you right here. So you can click on this link, access the reports. You can go online and type World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report. This is a report that has been released since 2016. So you have 2016, 2018, and this is the latest one available in 2024. So it shows you the jobs that are growing in demand. So at the left-hand side, you have the jobs that are growing in demand. And at the right-hand side, you have the jobs that are declining in demand. Okay, so now you have a decision to make. If I'm going to select a career path, I want to select a career path that is currently in demand and would keep on growing in demand. It's a no-brainer. Okay, so that's the logical decision anybody who wants to transition today would have to take. All right, so it's important that when you want to make a decision, you have to focus on the areas that will grow. You do your research, you look at reports like the World Economic Forum, you join sessions like this, where you get to learn about the career path that you should focus on, and it's easier for you to make the right decision. And I emphasize on this because a lot of people are diving into the product management career path. And if you look at the right-hand side, as part of the jobs that will decline in the future, product management is one of them. Okay, I was shocked as well the first time I saw it. But product management is going to get more redundant going into the future due to new technologies and advancements within market research, identifying product market fits, and so on and so forth. AI would be able to do a lot of these things going into the future. And that's why you'd see the product management role declining in demand. Okay, so that was one of the things that struck me. I was shocked when I saw this. So you want to focus on this area, the career path that are growing in demand, and that's where you want to be. So in the next 5 years, the next 10 years, the next 15 years, the next 20 years, you are relevant in the career path that you've chosen. And number 1 is the AI machine learning specialist. So if you're an AI specialist, an AI researcher, machine learning specialist, or you are a business intelligence analyst, or a data analyst, data scientist, you'd find yourself in a career path within the realm of data analytics and data science. AI machine learning is data science. Business intelligence is data analytics. Then you have the data analyst and the data scientist clearly indicated. So if you find yourself here, you're in a career path that is growing in demand, all right? Then you have the information security analysts, and these are your cybersecurity professionals. So you got a career path where you're protecting the data, you are protecting the network, protecting the systems within an organization. As a cybersecurity professional, you will be in a career path that is currently in demand and will keep on growing in demand over the next few years. Then you have the big data specialists, you have the data engineers, you have the database architects. These are professionals that manage, they store, and make data accessible across an organization. So when data is generated across different systems, different sources, these professionals, the big data specialists, the data engineers, the database architects, who can be referred to as the data engineers, are the people that make sure that that data is stored, managed, and made easily accessible within any organization. Again, this career path, you're in a career path that is thriving, you will not struggle to land a job, and you stay relevant over the next, couple of years. Then you have the process automation specialist, individual, professional that ensures that processes in an organization are optimized. The processes that takes 1 week can be optimized to take 1 hour. And these are the business analysts. So if you're a business analyst, you are a process automation specialist, you optimize processes within the organization, and you're in a career path that is growing in demand, and you stay relevant as well. Then you have the project managers, but not your conventional project managers this time around, the agile project managers. So why agile? Agile because the agile methodology is the project management methodology that is adopted within the tech ecosystem. And I'll speak about that as we move on during our session today. Then you have the database and network professionals, and these are your data engineers, your cybersecurity professionals. Then you have the financial analysts. So if you're a financial analyst, you're in a career path that is growing in demand. Now, another thing that shocked me, another career path I was surprised to see, the accountants and the auditors at the right-hand side. It's a career path that is also declining in demand and will decline in the coming years. You have human resources specialists. You have credit and loan officers. You have software testers. These are career paths that are on the decline. So if you're an accountant today and you're on this call and you're wondering, what do I need to do? How do I find myself in a career path where I can stay relevant, leveraging my already existing accounting background? You can easily make the switch from accounting to what? Financial analyst, by simply adding data analytics to your set of skills. The moment you add data analytics to your already existing accounting skills, you easily transition to a financial analyst. So the World Economic Forum clearly aligns with the analysis that we had carried out. So we knew that the analysis we had carried out are career paths that are relevant, they're career paths that are in demand, and career paths that will grow in the coming years. And that's where you want to find yourself. Okay, so bringing everything together, you have 8 different career paths you want to consider getting into 2025 and beyond. The data analytics career path, the data science, data engineering, cybersecurity, business analysis, financial analytics, HR analytics, agile project management / Scrum. Now, another thing I would just like to mention very quickly is a lot of people wrongly assume that because I've learned business analysis, the only type of job I can get is a business analyst role, but that's not true. As a business analyst, you can work as a change management analyst. You can work as an operations analyst. You can work as a business data analyst, as a systems analyst, business systems analyst. And there's so many career paths within that realm. Same with data analytics. I've had people come to me to say, I want to become a business intelligence analyst. BI, a BI analyst, a business intelligence analyst is a subset of the data analyst. So as a data analyst, you can apply to get a job as a business intelligence analyst because you would have learned the same skills while learning data analytics. So you need to know that there are so many career paths, so many jobs you can apply to within a particular job category, like you applying to a SOC analyst role as a cybersecurity professional, applying as a penetration tester, and so on and so forth. All right. And when it comes to the pay across all these roles, the pay on the average, the median salary also, we would find amazing, rewarding salaries across the major economies. The data analyst, for example, the data analytics career path on the average in the UK, over £40,000. In Canada, over 64,000 Canadian dollars. And in the US, between 72 to 85,000 US dollars on the average. The data scientist in the UK, over 55,000 pounds. In Canada, about 94,000 Canadian dollars, and in the US, six figures, 121,000 US dollars. As a data engineer, you are earning top dollar, top salary, fantastic career path. You are earning 65,000 per annum in the UK. In Canada, six figures, $102,000. In the US, another six figures, 134,000 US dollars. A cybersecurity professional as well, over 57,000 pounds per annum, 140,000 Canadian dollars, 105 US dollars. The business analyst, over 52,000 pounds in the UK per annum. In Canada, over 74,000 Canadian dollars. In the US, about 85,000 US dollars. The financial analyst in the UK, over 51,000 pounds, 69,000 Canadian dollars, 74,000 US dollars. The HR analyst, over 38,000 pounds in the UK, 71,000 Canadian dollars, 62,000 US dollars. And finally, last but not the least, the Agile Project Manager, Scrum Master, the UK, 53,000 pounds, 97,000 Canadian dollars, and in the US, six figures, 120,000 US dollars. And that's because in the US, you currently have a shortage of Agile project managers at the moment. And that's why you have absolutely fantastic salary for that particular role. Now, for you to get my slide at the end of the session today, because I'm going to share my slide with you, the recording of today's session, so you can go back, reference, watch, have access to all the links I'll be sharing with you today. Fill the attendance form. Make sure you fill the attendance form so that you receive all the materials after today's session. We're going to have Q&A before we wrap up today, all right? And you'd have the opportunity to ask questions. You can unmute yourself and we can have amazing interactions together. So the question is, are people getting these jobs? Do you have professionals who have joined, say, for example, the data science program, they've completed and they've gotten a job? Do you have professionals that have joined the Tenalytics business analysis program, they've completed and they've gotten a job? And they are numerous, over 2,500 of them. And I'll share just a few success stories with you, all right? You have somebody like Ikmat, who was a stay-at-home mom. Ikmat was a stay-at-home mom. She moved to the UK for her master's, and she decided to get back into the job market. She came into our data analytics program. While she was still in the program and still doing her master's, she got 2 job offers. But she couldn't take those jobs because she was a student. She had a limitation of 20 hours per week. At the end of her master's, she was able to secure a full-time visa-sponsored data analyst job with the NHS in the UK. And that's Hikmat's story. You have Ramat. Ramat joined our business analysis program. Ramat used to work as a customer service representative while doing her master's in the UK. Zero tech background, zero knowledge, joined our business analysis program. And today, Ramat is a business architect, also with the NHS in the UK, full visa sponsorship. All right. Then you have Toyin. Toyin was a pharmacist back in Nigeria. Interesting career path. But she decided to become a data analyst. She joined our data analytics program. And today, Toyin is a benefits analyst. And her job also came with full visa sponsorship. I'm going to play one of these videos so you get to listen to them. But I've also kept the links here. You can click on the link. You can listen to Toyin, listen to Ramat when you receive my slides at the end of today's session. So you get to see how these amazing different countries got into one of our programs, data analytics, business analysis, completed the program. We worked with them, prepared them for their interviews, and they were able to land these jobs. Okay, you have somebody like Joel. Joel is a data engineer. He joined our data engineering program. Today, in May this year, Joel landed a remote job working as a data engineer. You have Vivian. Vivian joined our data science program and she got her very first job in France, working remotely from Nigeria. Then she moved to the UK. In April this year, Vivian was able to land a role as an associate manager, data and business analytics with a company in the UK. We prepared her for our interviews, referencing and all of that. And today, Vivian is thriving within the space. You have Muhyiddin. Muhyiddin lives in Ibadan, Nigeria. He joined our data analytics program. And just 2 months after completing the program, he landed a job with BBX in the UK. So he was working remotely from Ibadan for a company in the UK, earning in pounds and spending in Naira. And he currently works remotely for BBX in the UK. Then you have Abdul Rashid. Abdul Rashid lives in Abuja. Abdul Rashid joined our data science program and he works for a company in the US as a data scientist. The name of the company is Chow 420. And these are professionals. I can go on and on and on. And we're going to listen to Oluwafikayo. And I'll talk to you a little bit about Oluwafikayo's story because it's a very interesting one. You also have Abisola. Abisola couldn't land a job. She had a bit of knowledge in data science, but she couldn't get interviews. When she got interviews, she didn't know how to answer questions during interviews. So she lost a lot of opportunities. Then she came into our data science program. And just 1 month after mentoring and preparing Abisola for her interviews, she was able to land her first job a month after joining the program as a Python curriculum designer with a company in the UK. And currently, she landed another job as a machine learning engineer. And then you have Oluwafikayo, who has a background in finance and accounting. She joined our data science program, and today, Oluwafikayo is a business solutions analyst with a company in Ontario, Canada, just a month before she wrapped up her program with us. But I want us to listen to Oluwafikayo, one of these professionals, so you get to learn and get to see what did they do right? How did we help them land these jobs? From learning the skills to preparing for the interviews and so on and so forth, okay? So I'm going to listen to Oluwafikayo and you get to hear from her and we'll get back to continue the rest of our session. So sit back, relax, and let's listen to Oluwafikayo. Okay, I just want to be sure the audio is loud enough and clear enough for you to all hear Oluwafikayo. Okay, so we are good to go. All right.
I'm so happy I got the job. I got the job 1 month to the end of my program. Good afternoon. My name is Oyefikayo Adesina. I got to know about analytics through one of their Instagram adverts at that point where I just needed a direction. I would say that is still one of the best decisions I've ever made in my career. Ever since I joined them, the classes, resources, instructors, they are great people. They are always there to support you. You have the Watch Me Do It videos where you can go at your learning pace, and you have the Saturday classes, you have assignments, you have team project where you learn, you work with different people on your team. Joining Analytics has helped me a lot because my background is finance. I'm new to tech. I've never done coding in my life, but now I can tell you I have a very good grasp of what is going on. They have the live sessions, they have the weekly, they have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday programs where you can join CV review sessions where you can review your CV. You have your interview review sessions. This kind of support they give to you, you will be surprised. When I booked my interview session, they were really on my case. Like, they just gave me that support, they gave me that confidence I needed for the interview. And I'm so happy I got the job. I got the job 1 month to the end of my program, and even after getting it, getting a reference letter, like all the support you need to succeed, they will hold you by the hand till you are where you need to be.
Okay, so that's Oluwafikayo, absolutely phenomenal lady. The program was for 4 months, and a month before she wrapped up, so 3 months into the program, 3 months in, she was able to land this job. And you listen to her from the interview prep to all the case studies she worked on, and eventually even to her referencing. We provided the references that she needed for her to land and stay on this job. Okay, and so many other professionals. I'm just going to run through this. You have Oluwadamilare, for example, working with BAM in the UK as a sustainability data analyst. You have Ngozi, who was a customer service professional working in customer service. She joined our business analysis program, but today, Ngozi is a business analyst working for an organization out of Huddersfield in the UK. And of course, you also have Lois. Before we leave here today, I'm going to play Lois's video. I want you to listen to Lois. Okay, very interesting, energetic. After she landed this job, she was so happy. And I would love you to listen to Lois, but I'll play that towards the end of the session so you get to hear how Lois, with a background in accounting and procurement, became a project manager after completing the business analysis program. I'm going to show you how somebody who completed business analysis could get a job as a project manager. Okay, I'll show you that. And if I forget, please remind me before we leave today. I'm going to walk you through what Lois was able to do right. You have Busola, you have Abigail. Abigail was a care worker in Saskatchewan. She joined our business analysis program. And today, Abigail is a business analyst with the government of Alberta, working as a business analyst. So the big question is, how can I become the next Abigail? How can I get a job just like Oluwafikayo did? How do I become a business analyst, a data analyst, a data scientist, and so on and so forth? So I'm going to walk you through, help you navigate the key skills you need to learn, what these career paths are all about, and how you can also get started in any of these career paths. And remember, for you to get my slides at the end of today's session, so you can click on any of those links, listen to any of the professionals, click on the link to go to the World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report. Make sure you fill the attendance form so you receive all these materials. So we're going to start with the business analyst career path. So if you want to become a business analyst, what does a business analyst do in the first place? And I'm going to use a very simple scenario to explain, okay? Easy to understand, simple scenario, all right? Now, imagine you have a company where you sell handmade bags. You sell bags to your customers, but you sell those bags on Instagram. You sell those bags on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok. Okay, so people see your ads, they see the bags you upload, the videos and the pictures, and then they send DMs. Some of them would call you or send you WhatsApp messages to order for a bag. Now, because the way they order for the bag is very manual, they have to call, they have to send DMs. A lot of things are manual, and some customers get the wrong bags delivered to them. So they've been complaining that the process is delayed. They order for a bag, it takes them a week to get the bag. And when the bag eventually comes, they get the wrong bag. All right. And I want you to just think about this. You are talking to a customer off the phone. So a customer calls to order for a bag. And they say, I want a blue Steve Madden bag. Okay. And my address is BD6 1QN. Now, 1QN, did I say N or M? You're not sure, but you write something down. But guess what? The customer did not say M, they said what? N. So because you're writing this down manually, you tend to make mistakes. So you deliver the bag to the wrong postcode, the wrong address, the wrong customer, and there are a lot of complaints. Okay, now how do you solve this problem as a business analyst? One of the first things the business analyst will do is go into this company where customers are complaining and try to help you solve the problem. So they would assess the process. The business analyst would go in and do what? Assess the process. I want you to have this at the back of your mind. Every company has people. Every company has technology. Every company has processes. The business analyst focuses on where? The processes. So the business analyst would go into the company, analyze the process, and map out the current process. So currently, how do customers order and how do they receive their order? Okay, so that's what you do in this company. So you go into the company and come up with the current state, the as-is process. How is the current process? What does it look like? So number one, customers order by calling you on the phone. When they call, they have to write down the order manually. They have the customer service would have to go through a notebook to identify if that item is available. All right. When they find out that the item is available, they have to manually go into the store to check. It's available on my notes, but I don't know if it's available in the store. So they go into the store and they have to check for the bag. If the bag is available, what happened? They pick up the bag and then they send it to the courier, prepare the shipping label, send it to the courier, and the courier will deliver to the customer. So it's a long process that takes about 3 days because there are so many manual processes involved, manual tasks involved. Okay, so the business analyst would map out the current process. What does it look like today? Where are the gaps? Where are the inefficiencies? What is manual that we can automate? And then come up with something called the future state, which is the optimized state. What could this business look like? What could this process look like if we do A, B, and C? So you research, what are your competitors doing? You do your market research, industry research. What are your competitors doing? What can you learn from them? If you are delivering in 3 days and your competitors are doing 48 hours, they are doing better than you. How can you implement some of the things they are doing as well? So as a business analyst, you recommend what this business should do. So you sell handbags, customers are complaining, you've mapped out the current process, you've seen that there are a lot of manual tasks involved. Now, you recommend that rather than customers calling to order, let's build a website so customers can order through the website. That's your recommendation. Then if customers order through the website would have an order management system so that if you indicated that you have 100 Steve Madden bags and the customer goes to the website to order 1 Steve Madden bags, it would reduce 1 Steve Madden bag, I beg your pardon, it will reduce from 100 to 99. And easily you can tell from the back end if you have bags available or not. You don't have to check manually. You don't have to physically go to a store to check. You can check this at the back end of the website. Okay, so because this is automated, it's faster for you to identify what is available and what is not. Then the website would automatically generate the customer order, automatically generates the shipping label, because the customer would have entered their address themselves on the website. You don't need to take the address down manually where you can make mistakes. And finally, you prepare the shipping label, it automatically redirects through an email to the courier. The courier comes in, picks up the bag, and delivers to the customer. And by implementing this order management system on a website, you would have reduced the process that took 3 days to only 5 hours. And that's the job of the business analyst. Your job is to go into the business, look at their current processes, identify the gaps, the inefficiencies, the loopholes, the manual task, and come up with a recommendation. So you're going to sit down with the customer service, you're going to sit down with the CEO, with the store manager, all the stakeholders, and you gather the requirements that is needed to build this website, implement the order management system, to make the solution you are recommending fit for purpose. And in summary, that's what the business analyst is. You make businesses more efficient by becoming faster, which by doing that, you are increasing revenue and reducing losses. Now that you've recommended that we need to build a website, as the business analyst, you must then manage this project to ensure that it is completed and it is implemented within the system, within the business. So you don't just recommend, you don't just analyze the process, recommend what to do. You also manage the project to ensure that it is delivered and the business is more efficient. Now, if you work in a company where there's a project manager, an agile project manager, then you work together with that agile project manager. You become the project owner, and the agile project manager would manage the project to completion. For you to become a business analyst, one of the first things you must learn is data. You must understand how to use data to drive business decisions. So that's your first module. The business analyst in 2024 must understand and be comfortable with working with data, analyzing data, generating insights from data by creating dashboards and so on. So you learn Excel, you learn Power BI, and you learn SQL. And these are your data skills. Very important. A lot of people would say, this is not your day-to-day, obviously. But a lot of people will say, as a business analyst, do I need it? Yes, you do. Because understanding data skills as a business analyst is what would enable you not just stay competitive or ahead of your competition, you would also be able to apply to jobs like the business data analyst roles. So there are roles called business data analyst. And these are business analyst roles that has a flavor of data analytics embedded within them. The only way you can apply to these type of jobs is if you have skills in Excel, Power BI, and SQL. So that's number one. Then you move to process mapping out processes using technologies like Lucidchart or Draw.io. So how do I identify how does the process start and how does it end? And what are the different activities and tasks in between? You need to know how to map out a process. Now you need to also understand project management. I talked about Lois, who did our business analysis program, and she got a job as a project manager. This is the reason why. As a business analyst, you're going to learn project initiation and planning. You learn how to initiate projects, you learn how to plan projects, plan the scope, and so on and so forth. Then you'd also get to learn the agile methodology and the Scrum framework for projects. You'd learn to use tools like Jira to track project deliverables. You'd learn to use tools like Confluence to collaborate on projects. You'd learn to use tools like Trello to track your project team members, see the tasks they have, what they've done, and what is outstanding. And this is the reason why Lois was able to get that project management job. Then you have the software development lifecycle. And this is you simply understanding the process of developing a software. So you're recommending to that your friend that has a company that sells bags on social media. You said you need to build a website. The website needs to have an order management system. How would that website be planned? How would it be designed? How would it be built? How would it be tested? How would it be deployed? And how would it be maintained? The entire software development lifecycle, you need to understand this because you'd work on projects within the technology ecosystem. Then you'd learn requirements gathering, requirement fundamentals, gather requirement from all your stakeholders, both internal and external, to get the different features, the different requirements, functional, non-functional, that should be on that website, to ensure that when we build and develop that website, it meets the specifications, it meets the need of the company. You need to understand elicitation, asking the right questions to get the answers that will help you provide that solution for the company. You need to understand stakeholder analysis and engagement. How do I manage my stakeholders? How do I rank my stakeholders based on influence and so on and so forth? All right. You'd learn AI for business analysis using ChatGPT. Okay. And the program is for 4 months, 2 months in class and 2 months internship. Now, your 2 months internship is centered around you working on a real world project. You'd work with a company called Blue Sea Technology, where their HR department is very manual. When people want to go on leave, they have to send emails to go on leave. But as a business analyst, you'd go into that HR department, analyze their systems, analyze their processes, and come up with a solution which would require building a HR management system for that business. You'd manage the project, you'd work with the agile project manager, you'd work with a software developer, you'd work with a UI UX designer in real life to solve that problem. And at the end of the day, you'd have built a HR management system where employees can log into that system and they can update their details, they can request for leave on their own. So doing this in your internship enables you build the skills, doing the job in the real world. So when you find yourself in an interview and you're asked questions that are competency-based, you can answer them. When you get questions like, tell me about a time you were involved in a process optimization project. How were you able to track deliverables on that project? Now, because you've done this during your internship, you can speak about the project, you can talk about how you use Jira to track deliverables and how you collaborated using Confluence on that project. And it doesn't matter where you are. You could be in the UK, you could be in Africa, you could be in Canada, the US. There's a time that fits your schedule for the classes. So if you're in the UK, for example, you are in somewhere in Africa, you have a class that starts 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays. That's when you have your live class. If you're in the US, you're in Canada, you have a class that starts 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Time. Okay, so if you're in the UK, for example, you can join the class 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Or if you're not available in the morning, you can join the class for those in Canada and in the US, which would commence 6 p.m. your time, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So you can walk around the flexibility to fit your schedule every Saturday when you have your live class. Now, Sundays and all through the week, you have a self-paced class. You don't have to join a live class. You log into the LMS, you watch your videos, you practice with the videos that you see, you learn how to do certain, you work on case studies, and every Saturdays is when you join a live session where you have your expert, your facilitator that would work with you, learn new techniques, learn the terminologies, and work on projects together. Okay, and that's the structure of the business analysis program. So take a screenshot of this. If you ever want to become a business analyst, this is what you need to learn. Now, let's remember, we've recommended to that our friend that for you to have an optimized business selling bags, you need to build a website. You need to have an order management system. And you as the business analyst would manage that project. But now you have a project manager, an agile project manager in that company. The agile project manager automatically becomes the project manager, while the business analyst will become the project owner. And you work together to build that website and the order management system. So how does the agile project manager do their job? We need to build the website with the order management system. That's the project. Using the agile methodology, which simply works by you taking this entire project and breaking it down into small, manageable pieces. That's how agile works. You take a full project, break it into multiple, smaller, manageable pieces called sprints, and you focus on one sprint at a time. So the building the website, as an agile project manager, you break this into one part, which is what are the most important features we need to have on this website immediately. We need to build the user login page. So that's the first thing. So I'm going to break that down into our first sprint. I call it sprint 1. Then you have the second sprint, which is after building the user login page, we need to build a storefront with all the product listings and their prices. We call that sprint 2. Then sprint 3 can look like we want to also implement facial recognition for quick login access by our customers. So you've taken the building the website project with the order management system and you've broken it into 3 sprints. They are easier to manage, easily manageable pieces. Okay, and this is agile in play. Now, each sprint takes between 2 to 4 weeks, and you focus on one sprint at a time. So you take sprint 1, you build the user login page, and then you deploy to your users. You don't need to wait until you complete the entire project, which is what the conventional project management, the waterfall methodology would say you should do. You design, you plan, you build, you test, you deploy. So you would have built everything, you test at the end, you deploy before you get to maintain. That's conventional, that's waterfall. But agile, which is adapted to the tech ecosystem, you don't wait until you are done with the entire project. You deploy after you complete each sprint. So you take the first sprint within 2 to 4 weeks, you build your user login page, and then you deploy to your users. The users would use this particular platform and they will give you feedback. And based on the feedback, you make it a lot better. You adapt the feedback, you iterate, and you improve on the user login page. You move to sprint 2, and then you build the storefront with the product listings. Again, you deploy to your users. They get to see, they tell you where there are errors. I tried to log in, couldn't log in. You get instant feedback, and you use that feedback to make it better. And then you move to the third sprint. The same thing, you implement the facial recognition feature, and then you deploy, you get feedback, you make it a lot better. So what you are doing essentially is you are deploying incrementally. You deploy incrementally. You don't deploy everything after 6 months if the project takes 6 months, or deploy after 1 year if the project takes 1 year. You deploy incrementally. So after 2 to 4 weeks, you deploy. And that's where you'd see your WhatsApp, your Instagram, your Facebook, they've all been built using the Agile methodology. Okay, so today, WhatsApp has a new feature that was never there before. That's simply because new additions can be made. And based on how we use WhatsApp, we give feedback back to the developers. And they take that, implement our feedback to make the platform a lot better for us. And that's what the Agile project manager would need to do. For you to break all these projects into the 3 different sprints you have, you'd engage in a Scrum ceremony called the sprint planning. In the sprint planning process, you identify the key features, the key areas, how to break this project into multiple parts, multiple sprints, and focus on them one at a time. And once a sprint is done, you also carry out another Scrum ceremony called the sprint review. Or what have we done? What's the definition of done? Have we met all the features that we need to have before you deploy to your users? And that's what the Agile project manager will do. You leverage the Agile methodology to do what? To manage projects and see it to its logical conclusion. And Agile in itself, the reason why you can also apply to get a job as a Scrum Master is because the Agile methodology has 3 major frameworks: the Scrum framework, the Kanban framework, and then the Lean framework. Okay, you can combine 1 or 2 frameworks. You can combine Scrum and Kanban and call this Scrumban, for example, and so on and so forth. And that's why, as an Agile project manager, you can also get a job as a Scrum Master. All right. So what are you going to learn in the Agile project management career path? You're going to learn the project management, different methodologies, different frameworks, and also build your skills in the project structure, project management methodologies, project management skills and communication, the foundation of Agile and Scrum, understanding the Scrum framework, the Scrum artifacts, understand the Agile practices and advanced Scrum practices. You learn how to use Jira, just like the business analyst, to track project deliverables, end-to-end use of Jira, end-to-end use of Confluence for collaboration on projects. You learn how to use the Kanban boards for workflow management. Learn about the Agile metrics and reporting, the burn-up, the burn-down charts, velocity charts, and so on. You learn the real-world application and leadership in project management. The Nexus Skilled Scrum, where you're trying to implement Scrum across multiple teams within an enterprise. And we get to prepare you for the Professional Scrum Master certification. The program is also for 4 months, 3 months in class, 1 month internship. Your internship would be in collaboration with the business analyst. So you see the recommendation from that project where you are taking the manual HR department and trying to optimize their processes. You as an Agile project manager would work together with the business analyst to manage that project and see it to its completion. You have live classes both on Saturdays and on Sundays. Saturdays 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., Sundays 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And that's the Agile Project Manager Scrum Master Program. Okay, I can see a lot of questions, a lot of chats coming up. I'll take all those questions. All right, I'll take all those questions. I want to develop myself in HR analytics. I'll talk about that. Okay, I can see so many questions. I'll take those questions. Our certifications recognized globally. Rex is asking, absolutely. Our participants work with the best organizations across the globe. The only way you can get a job with the NHS, you can get a job with the government of Alberta in Canada, you can get a job with Amazon, you can get a job with the post office in the UK, you can get a job with Revolut in the UK, just where all our participants work. You have to have certifications that are recognized globally, number one. And secondly, the competence to show that you're the best person for the job while going through the application process. Okay, so I hope that answers your question, Rex. And I'll take all those classes, I'll take all those questions, I beg your pardon, at the end of our session today. So keep the questions coming and I'll answer them as we move on. Now let's get into the data analyst, the data scientist, the data engineering career path, which is absolutely interesting. These three career paths, I'll take them together. Now, who is a data engineer and what do they do? As a data engineer, what's your role? Your role in any organization is to do what? Provide data. So you can also be called the data provider. As a data engineer, you can be called the data provider. Please pardon my handwriting. Let me try to make it clearer. Okay, the data provider. Organizations generate data across multiple systems. So, but let's use the same example. The lady selling bags on social media. Now she has built a website with an order management system. And she wants to know from January till date, how many bags have I sold? She wants that question to be answered. How many bags have I sold? All right. But remember, she has people still ordering from Facebook. Even though there is a website now, some customers would still go to Facebook. Some would still go to TikTok. Some would still go to Instagram. Okay. And then you have the website. So these are multiple sources where transactions have happened. As a data engineer, what do you do? Your role is to go into these different systems where you have data and create what we call pipelines, data pipelines, ETL pipelines. And what does ETL mean? Extract, transform, and load. Okay, extract, transform, and load, ETL pipelines. So you build ETL pipelines. So just imagine in your home, when you're building a house, you have pipes across the entire building, taking water from somewhere and channeling that water into your bathroom, channeling the water into your kitchen. Without those pipes connected to a water source, you can't open up the tap in your kitchen and get water. That's what a data engineer would do. Data exists in different sources. They create ETL pipelines to move data from those sources into a central location. So they go to Facebook database, extract the data, transform the data, and load the data into a database. Same with Instagram, create the ETL pipelines. Same with the website, go to the order management system, extract the data, and put it in a central location. And this central location is called what? The data warehouse. So your banks, you're in Canada, your Scotiabank, TD Bank, EQ Bank, and so on and so forth, CIBC, they all have data warehouses. When you make a transaction on your mobile application, the transaction is recorded and stored in a database. When you make a transaction using the POS somewhere in the supermarket, that transaction is stored in a database. When you make a transaction by withdrawing cash from the ATM, that transaction is stored in a database. The data engineer's role is to go into these different systems, extract the data, and load the data in a central location called the data warehouse, where any professional that needs to use this data can access the data from the data warehouse to get their data. And that's why I said the data engineer is the data provider. They build the infrastructure that's what gets data from different systems and move that data into a central location. So if that lady who has a company that sells handmade bags, but sells them through Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and so on, all the transaction data needs to be somewhere in a central location to know how many transactions have we had from the first quarter of the year till the last quarter of the year. And that's when the data analyst can now answer that question. How many transactions? So the data analyst is a professional that starts their work when that database, the data warehouse is available. And the data analyst answers two questions in any company. Let's call the data analyst the DA. The first question the data analyst would answer is the question of what? What happened? What happened? And when you're answering the question of what happened, every company wants to know what happened. Netflix wants to know how many subscribers did we get. Tenalytics wants to know how many customers were we able to get from Canada in 2024? How many customers did we get from the UK in 2024? What happened? Okay, so your friend wants to know how many bags have I sold from Q1 to Q3? That's answering the question, what happened? And when you do this, you are doing something called descriptive analytics. All right. So the data analyst would take data from this data warehouse and use a tool like Excel or Power BI and build a chart, analyze the data and visualize that data like this. So Q1, what happened? Q2, what happened? Q3, what happened? And in Q1, you found out that, okay, we sold 200 bags. In Q3, we sold 500 bags. And in Q3, we sold 100 bags. This is what happened. Anybody can now look at this and say, okay, we sold 200 in Q1. What did we do? How were we able to increase our sales from Q1 to Q2, from 200 to 500? And why do we have a decline from 500 to 100? So when you've seen what happened, the next question the data analyst must answer is, why did it happen? Why did it happen? Why did we increase from 200 to 500? Because if I know, I can recommend to you, let's do the same thing going into subsequent months so we can keep on increasing the number of bags that we sell. And if I know what we did wrong to get that sharp decline from 500 to 100, I can say that let's stop doing this because it is killing our business. We are not selling as much as we should. And when you're answering the question, why did it happen? You are diving into an area of analytics called diagnostic analytics. And this is where you dive a little bit deeper into the data. You try to identify events that took place around that period, trends and patterns within the data that can help explain why did we have an increase from 200 to 500. Maybe we used a particular type of influencer. Maybe we had some sales promotions. Okay, what is your role as the data analyst to identify why did it happen? If we use a type of influencer, influencer A, influencer B, you want to recommend to the business, let's keep on using influencer A and B so that going into Q4, we can increase our sales. And these are the two questions a data analyst must answer for any business. What happened and why did it happen? When you know what happened and why it happened, you can replicate those strategies to do better and improve the business. Okay, now, how does the data scientist come in? The data scientist takes it a notch further, and the data scientist would answer the third question. And the third question the data scientist would answer is question number 3. So let's call this data scientist DS. they answer question number 3, which is what? What will happen? What will happen in the future? So I always like to use this. Imagine watching all these movies, you watch these Nollywood movies, you have the babalawos in those movies. They take the cowries, they throw the cowries on the floor, and then they tell you that, oh, don't travel tomorrow. If you travel, there's going to be this, there's going to be that. The road is not good, don't travel. As a data scientist, you are that babalawo, you are that sightseer, you are that person that can take the crystal ball and see into the future. The only difference is you are not doing it with cowries and the crystal ball. You are doing it with Python, statistical modeling, and machine learning. And when you're answering the question of what will happen, you are diving into the area called predictive analytics. Predictive analytics. You are predicting what will happen in the future. So going back to this example, the data scientist will take it a step further to show what will happen in Q4. Even though Q4 has not ended, I want to predict, based on what happened in the past and why it happened, I can predict using statistical modeling, forecasting, machine learning to predict what will happen in the future. And based on my prediction, I can say that we are going to make sales of 400 bags in Q4. And that's where the data scientist comes in. And for you to predict the future, you must understand statistics, statistical modeling. You must understand machine learning, let's just call it ML, and so on and so forth. And your forecasting, your machine learning models would be built using Python. And that's where Python comes into the picture. And I saw something interesting on Instagram today, and I said I was going to share this with everybody today. Now, Amazon, I saw this on Instagram, I clipped it, and I said I would share it during my session today. Amazon will hire 250,000 employees for the holiday season in a couple of weeks. They're going to hire 250,000 employees. Why? Because they expect that holiday spending would reach a record of 240.8 billion, which is a 4.9 increase from the previous year. And they're also forecasting that sales would grow by 3.2%. So they know a data scientist has taken data from the previous years and they have forecasted based on what happened in the previous years, historical data, based on why it happened. They've predicted and forecasted that 2024 holiday season, we are going to have 4.9 increase in terms of the total amount customers would spend on online sales. And we also expect that the number of sales that will be made would grow by 3.2%. And because of this, for us to meet the demand, for us to deliver to customers, for customers not to have delays in their delivery, we must do what? Hire 250,000 employees. And this is data science in practice. You are taking what you've seen that will happen in the future, and you are using that to take a decision today to prepare for that future and plan for that future. All right? So how do they know that online holiday spending will increase? And how do they know that the number of employees they need to hire is 250,000? And that's where the data scientist comes into the picture. And that's a practical example. I said I was going to show this in today's session. And that's what the data scientists will do in any company. They tell you, they predict what would happen in the future, so you can plan ahead of that future eventually. Now, for you to become a data analyst, a data scientist, or a data engineer, you must have certain set of skills. And for the data analyst, you start with problem solving. You need to know how to solve problems. You need to know how to get to the root cause of problems. You need to know how to use different problem-solving techniques, the McKinsey-Mason model, using the 5 whys, asking why 5 times to get to the root cause of the problem, the prioritization matrix, and so on, the CRISP-DM framework, knowing the problem before you solve that problem. Then you move into Excel. You learn SQL, structured query language. For you to access that database that a data engineer would create, you must know how to use SQL, structured query language, to enable you interact with the database. Then you learn Power BI for your data visualization, automating your reports, and also you learn Tableau, which is also a BI tool. It does what Power BI would do, but this gives you the latitude to apply to more jobs. Because some companies would have a preference for Power BI, some would have a preference for Tableau. So learning the two gives you the opportunity to apply to so many more jobs. Okay, then you learn data storytelling, AI for data analytics using ChatGPT, and Microsoft Fabric. Microsoft Fabric is a new platform launched by Microsoft about 2 years ago. Organizations are beginning to migrate to Microsoft Fabric. It's a platform where I can be in Edmonton, Canada. Somebody else can be in Leeds in the UK. I can build a data lake and I can share that data lake with that person. And the person can use that data lake to build a dashboard. I can share that data lake with somebody else somewhere in the US or in Nigeria, and they can write SQL queries using that same data lake. So it's a one-stop platform for so many analytics materials. And that's why organizations want to have everything in one system. So you understanding how to use Microsoft Fabric gives you an advantage over the competition. The data analytics program is for 4 months, 3 months in class, 1 month internship. Just like the business analysis, your live classes are on Saturdays. You're in the UK, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. You are in the US, Canada, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Mountain Time. And on Sundays, you have a self-paced class. You don't have to join a live class. You log into the LMS, and I'll show you what the platform looks like, the live classes, what they look like, and how you get to learn with us at Analytics. As a data scientist, you start with statistics. Don't start with Python. You get frustrated and you're going to drop off because a lot of people make this mistake. Python is not the foundation of data science. Statistics is the foundation of data science. Then you learn forecasting and predictive analytics using Excel. You learn Tableau for data analytics, SQL, structured query language to interact with databases. Then you move to Python. Python for your exploratory data analysis, your machine learning, computer vision. You learn version control using GitHub. You learn AI for data science using ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot. And finally, you learn Microsoft Fabric for analytics. Your program is for 4 months, 3 months in class, 1 month internship. Same structure with the class, just like the data analyst. Saturdays, you have your live classes. Sundays, you have your self-paced watch me do it videos. All right. So you're in the UK, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. You're in the US, Canada, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Now, for the data engineers, you find yourself learning, starting with introduction to data engineering, SQL, structured query language, which enables you build the data warehouse where you store that data, the data you get from all the different systems and sources, and you build your ETL pipelines, building the data warehouse, the databases, the data schema, the tables in the databases. You need to understand SQL extensively. You're going to learn that. You learn Python programming for building your ETL pipelines. You learn Linux for your bash scripting. You learn how to scrape data from the web, how to get data from multiple sources, databases, APIs. You learn how to use Apache Spark and Airflow to automate the pipeline. So when you go into your kitchen and you want the water to run, you don't need to get a plumber to enable water run. Water runs automatically. Okay? As a data engineer, when you build your data pipelines, ETL pipelines, you don't need to be in the office every time for the pipelines to get data and move the data into the data warehouse. So that's why you need to automate the pipelines to keep on moving data from where the data is generated to where the data is needed. You learn cloud engineering using AWS, GCP, Google Cloud Platform, and Microsoft Azure. You learn version control with GitHub and AI for data engineering using ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot. The program is for 5 months, 3 months in class, 1 month, 2 months internship. So 2 months internship for the data engineering program, 5 months learning journey altogether. Saturdays, you have your live classes, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. If you are somewhere in West Africa, somewhere in the UK, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Mountain Time. Sundays, you have your self-paced class. All through the other days of the week, you have your self-paced class. You don't need to join a live session. Now you have the financial analyst and the HR analyst career path. Somebody talked about the HR analyst career path. Now, these two career paths, financial analyst, HR analyst, you are both data analysts. A financial analyst is a data analyst. A HR analyst is also a data analyst. But what's now the difference between the conventional data analyst and the financial analyst? The financial analyst focuses on financial records or financial data. As a financial analyst, you are combining data analytics skills with financial data. So you don't focus on all types of data. You have no business with customer data, customer segmentation, and things like that. Your focus is on what? Financial records, identifying areas for cost optimization, analyzing the scenarios if you have changes within certain economic factors, if inflation goes up or goes down, if you have regulatory changes, how does that impact the business? How does it impact your industry? How do you recommend investment opportunities to the business? How do you build financial models? How do you value businesses? These are the type of things you do as a financial analyst. So you learn the data skills, problem solving, Excel, Power BI, and SQL. These are your data skills. Then you move into the core financial aspects, accounting fundamentals, financial analysis, financial modeling, valuation, sensitivity and scenario analysis, and ChatGPT for analytics. So you are combining data analytics plus financial understanding, financial analysis. And that's where the financial analyst is a data analyst that focuses on financial records. The program is for 4 months, just like the data analytics program, 3 months in class, 1 month internship. And the structure is the same, just like the data analytics program. Saturdays are for your live classes. Sundays, Monday, Tuesday, you can log onto the platform and watch your videos at your own convenience. The HR analyst is pretty much the same. You're a data analyst. You're going to learn problem solving, Excel, Power BI, and SQL. These are your data skills. Then you move into HR-related data. So as a HR analyst, your focus is analyzing people data, HR data. You have no business analyzing all types of data. You don't have business analyzing customer data, research data, and so on. Your focus is on people data within the business. You're helping the company answer key questions like, how can we reduce attrition? What are the factors leading to employee turnover? How can we identify those factors so we can predict the employees that are likely going to leave and find a way, implement policies and strategies to stop them from leaving? All right? How do we develop HR-related policies that are data-driven? So when people say that we need to bring back employees back into the office, no remote working anymore, is this based on your feeling or is it based on the analysis you have done? So when you're implementing a HR policy, have you analyzed productivity changes over time? When people work from the office, what does productivity look like? When they work remotely, what does productivity look like? And then you can make a decision to say, for the data analysts, for the software engineers that work remotely, their productivity actually increases. So we don't need to bring them back into the office. So you are driving policies using data as the underlying factor to make those decisions. So you learn your data skills, then you move into HR analytics and performance evaluation, HR metrics and life cycle, HR analysis and dashboarding, report automation and collaboration, building your case and creating action, and ChatGPT for HR analytics. 4 months total learning journey, 3 months in class, 1 month internship. Your class structure similar to the data analytics. Saturdays, you have your live class with an expert walking you through all the key areas in HR analytics. And then on Sundays, Mondays, all other day, you can join the LMS, watch your videos, practice along, and you have a self-paced blended learning approach. Then finally, we have the cybersecurity program. As a cybersecurity professional, you are responsible for protecting the network, protecting the system, and protecting the data from both internal and external threats within an organization. So as a cybersecurity professional, your role is to ensure that the organization is protected from vulnerabilities, from attacks, internally and externally. So you learn introduction to cybersecurity, foundation of computing and networking, information security principles, offensive and defensive cybersecurity, cryptography, including encryption and decryption, cyber threat and attack vectors, network, endpoint, web and application security, cloud security, incident response and forensics, cybersecurity policies, and compliance. As a cybersecurity analyst at the completion of your program, you would have learned how to do penetration testing, where you can apply to jobs as a penetration tester, as an ethical hacker. And what do you do as a penetration tester, as a pen tester? You try to hack into systems to identify vulnerabilities and recommend solutions to cover those vulnerabilities so that somebody else cannot penetrate that system just like you did. So you're an ethical hacker helping protect the organization from external threats. You can also apply to jobs as a SOC analyst, Security Operation Center analyst, ensuring that you are monitoring the network to look for anomalies, intrusion, and stop an attack from happening before it eventually happens. You can apply to get a job as a GRC consultant, a governance, risk, and compliance professional. And what do you do in GRC? You help organizations come up with policies and the guidance framework that would enable to protect that organization from internal and external threats. For example, you need to have a governance framework within the organization. When a new employee is hired, how do they get access to certain systems within the organization? Who gives that access? And what's the process for access to be given. All right. You want to ensure that you also maintain compliance records within the organization. When you carry out system audits, you want to maintain compliance records that are regulatory required. You want to implement regulatory frameworks that exist within your industry, the GDPR, and so on and so forth. And that's your role as a GRC compliance, as a GRC professional within an organization. The learning timeline is for 4 months, 3 months in class, 1 month internship. And as a cybersecurity professional with Tenalytics, you have live classes both on Saturdays and on Sundays. Saturdays 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., Sundays 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. All right, and this takes me to, we are inching closer to the end of our session. Now, all the things I've mentioned are the technical parts of a specific career path. And I want to hear from you. I want you to type into the chat, which of the career path are you interested in? Type into the chat, which of the career path are you interested in? Data analytics, HR analytics, data science. Type into the chat and let's see which of the career path are you interested in. Okay. T-Babe says HR analytics. George says cybersecurity. Uche says cybersecurity. Larry says cybersecurity. Oyewale Pray says agile project management, data science, data engineering. Absolutely phenomenal. All right. Now, this is one of the most important things you would ever do. Identifying the career path you are interested in. Okay, identifying the career path you are interested in. The mistakes a lot of people make, and all the things I've shown you are the technical aspects of getting into the career path, but technical will not get you the job. You want to get a visa-sponsored job, I'll show you a bit of how to search for these jobs, where to search, okay? But our session today is to show you the career path that will get you there, not necessarily where to search and how to search, but I'll show you a bit of that. However, if you focus on only the technical, some of you have said, I want to become a data scientist, and you are the best in the use of Excel, best in the use of Python, you're not likely going to get that job. You must also have employability skills, which is, I dare say, is even more important than just your technical skills. And that's what I'm going to walk you through. Because the mistakes people make, number one, is they choose certifications ahead of experience. And this it emanates from where we come from. We love certifications a whole lot in Africa. All right? But organizations would not hire you for your certification. Why would you get hired? And we have a saying, we have a watchword at Tenalytics. And that watchword is what? We call it competence. Competence over credentials. Okay? Always remember this. Take a pen, take a notepad and write it down. Competence over credentials, any day, anytime. And what does competence mean? What does it comprise of? Number one, your skills. And number two, your experience. So you're one of those people that have you have certification in this, that, and that, and you cannot still get a job. The reason is very simple. You don't have the right skills, and you also have not built experience in that area. So how do you build experience as a business analyst? How did somebody like Abigail, who was a care worker, become a business analyst with the government of Alberta, where she is managing two other, she's a supervisor to two people. She has direct reports to her, and she has never done business analysis before. How did she gain the experience that she used to get that job? And I'll share that with you. So please don't chase certifications, chase competence. Certifications are a nice to have. You can think about that after you've gotten the skills, you've gotten the experience, or they will not get you the job. I've coached, I've mentored too many people that have certifications, but they still cannot get the job. Okay? Another mistake people make is you join training programs that are not project-based and they don't have internship. So I've seen so many people, I've gone for a training, I've watched YouTube, I've done this, I've done that. Were you able to go through an internship? Did you gain real-world experience? Have you been able to build a portfolio? What projects are in your portfolio? If you don't have this, you will struggle to land that job. All right? As a beginner, one of the worst places for you to start is YouTube and Coursera. I've been there myself, and I wasted precious time learning irrelevancies. There was no structured learning approach, and I was learning everything that was both relevant and irrelevant. You want to ensure that you don't just focus on YouTube. Today, I can learn on YouTube because I already have the foundation. As a beginner, getting into a new career path, you've been a banker in Nigeria, now you're in the UK, you're working somewhere, you want to get a job as a data engineer. The worst place for you to start is on YouTube and Coursera because you don't have the foundation. You don't have the background to build on. You don't have somebody to stop and ask questions when you're watching these videos. So it's a mistake getting started in this way. Another major mistake is you don't have employability skills. You don't know how to tailor your CV to job requirements. You don't know how to answer interview questions. Tell me about yourself. Introduce yourself. Can we get to meet you? How do you answer this question using the SEAT approach? Where S is for your skills, E is for your experience, A is for your achievements, and T is for your traits or type of person. How do you answer competency-based questions? That would go like this. Tell me about a time you have built a machine learning model as a data scientist. How did you select the right algorithms that you used to build the model? And how did you measure the accuracy of that model? If you haven't done this before, you would struggle. But how do you answer the question constructively using the STAR approach? Where you start with the situation, you talk about the task involved, the actions you took, and then finally the results. If you can't interview, you will never get that job. If you can't sell yourself, if you don't understand that the interview is a sales pitch, you're always going to struggle to get that job. You must also have an optimized LinkedIn profile. Okay, and finally, you don't know where and how to apply to jobs. So I want to get a visa-sponsored job, and I'm applying on LinkedIn, or I'm applying on read.co.uk, or I'm applying on CV Library, or on Glassdoor. Somebody else would get that job 10 times faster, knowing where to apply. And I'll show you where, some platforms you can leverage that we use that helps our candidates land jobs very fast within the ecosystem. And that's where Tenalytics comes in. The focus for us is to help you succeed and transition so you don't make all those mistakes other people make. And that's what has made our participants so successful. So one of the first things we do at Tenalytics is you have a blended learning approach. Blended. You don't need to join classes every day like you do in your master's program. You don't need to be in only a self-paced class when you watch videos on Udemy, because you don't need to also be in a live class every day. It is blended. And I'll show you what the platform looks like very quickly. Okay, so for those who join the program, for example, you have the LMS. The LMS looks like this. Okay, the learning management system. Once you've joined, you'd see welcome back. You'd have your name. This is my name because I'm logged in. And at the top right corner right here, this is where you can book your interview prep. So you have an interview coming up. You listen to Oluwafikayo when I played her video, and she said, when I applied for my interview prep, Tenalytics was on my case. They made sure that I had the preparation I needed, and I got the job. You have an interview prep. What you have to do is come in here, click on schedule appointments. Your name is automatically entered because you are registered already. You select the program you joined. Say you are in full stack data science, HR analytics, data analytics, select the program. You enter the link to the job you're applying to or being interviewed for. Details about the interview, the stage you are. So if you're on the first stage, second stage, final stage, you select first level. You copy the job description, paste it right here, and you can select the date. So you have an interview coming up tomorrow. Sorry, I beg your pardon. You want to get prepared tomorrow, even though it's a Sunday. You can select that. Okay. You can select that by simply going to the calendar. December, Sunday is the 1st of December. You click on 1st of December, and you are able to upload the CV that you've used to apply to that job. And you click on this, booking your appointment, and somebody will join a one-on-one session with you to prepare you for that interview. Okay, now you've joined, let's say, the data analytics program. All right, you come in here, you click on continue learning, and then you have access to all your videos. So this is your self-paced material. Okay, so when we talk about you having a blended learning approach, where you have your self-paced materials and you also get to join a live class. So here you can come to week 1 any day. It could be on a Tuesday evening, Monday morning, at your convenience. Whenever you have the time, you are free. You come into the platform. You want to learn certain things about Excel. So let's say you want to learn conditional formatting, data validation. All you need to do is come in here, click on the video, and then you can get to watch and practice data validation, conditional formatting. Click on play, and you get to watch along and you practice together with your facilitator. You are being taught by the co-founder of Tenalytics, Efemena, who is a professional, worked across multiple sectors, multiple industries, and you get to learn from him. Okay, so you watch all these videos and you get to see and practice along, and this is what your self-paced classes look like. All right, you move all the way, you finish Excel, you go to Power BI, dashboarding and data storytelling, you go to SQL, and you go to all the different programs. Tableau, you can come in here, watch your Tableau videos, introduction to Tableau. You want to learn how to do time series using Tableau. You can come in here, click on time series for Tableau, and then you can watch this video, practice along, see how what was done, and then you can also practice along and do the same thing. Now, once you've done this, you now have your live classes. So you can come in here and watch anytime you want. This is your self-paced platform. Okay, you also have your live classes, and I'll show you what the live class looks like. So this is your live class platform where every single live session is within this platform. Now, when it comes to getting the job, what makes the difference? The difference is having the right support. So one of the things we do, apart from having sessions with you, showing you where to apply, how to apply, you also have job openings that we send. Okay, so every Sundays, we send new job openings to you. So I'm just going to open this up and show you what it looks like very quickly. So this was sent last week, Sunday, the 24th of November. And you have jobs you can apply to as a data analyst. The ones that come with sponsorship, you would see, yes, they come with sponsorship. And these are jobs that we have vetted. And we know that if you apply to these jobs, you would get them. Okay, so we send them to you. You get to apply to these jobs. And every single week, you get jobs posted in your classroom and you get to apply. All right, you have your mentorship sessions where you have myself, the co-founder, other industry experts work with you, to literally hold your hands and show you what you need to do to land that job. A session we held a couple of weeks ago is using AI for the job application. So anybody who watched this session, for example, would know exactly how to tailor a CV. Okay, and the beauty about it is the sessions are recorded. So if you miss this session, you can simply come in here, click on the session recording link, and it takes you to the recording of that session. So you get to see me right there. And what did we do on this?
Brilliant.
I was showing people how to use a platform like JobRite. So with JobRite, if you look closely at what you have here, I'll go to the platform and I'll show you practically before we leave here today. So with JobRite, you can see the percentage match to a job you are trying to apply to. You can see where you have gaps. So your skills could be 74% or 60-something percent. Then we took the CV and we used certain prompts on ChatGPT to tailor that CV. Take a CV that had a 77% match and we took it to 95%. When you apply to a job with a 95% match, the tendency of you landing that job is a lot higher compared to you applying when you have a 77% match. And one other thing I showed in this session is when applying to a job, you need to identify who is the hiring manager. Okay, so this is LinkedIn, where I showed this particular gentleman was the hiring manager for this role. I showed them how to craft messages to the hiring manager so they look at your submission, your application, they look at your CV, and you easily get called for interviews. So this is what a typical mentorship session would look like at Tenalytics. Okay, but let's go to a class and let me show you what a live class looks like very quickly. Then your employability sessions, you have your Upwork optimization, LinkedIn optimization session, CV review sessions. These are all live sessions. If you miss any of them, you can watch the recording, see what happened, the questions that were asked, and so on and so forth, okay? Now, let's go to this Power BI class that held yesterday, all right? Yesterday, they had their first Power BI class. Let's go to the class. Now, if you miss this class, again, the beauty is you have the class recording. You can come in here, go to the class recording and watch what happened. You have your class material, which is the slides that was used in class. So if I click on the slide, when we say project-based learning, what do we mean? What we mean is the problems I have solved over the last decade as a data analyst, we've created case studies out of them. The problems the co-founder has solved as a data engineer, business systems analyst, BI developer over the last decade, we've created case studies out of them, and so many other professionals like that. We create case studies, and you get to learn by working on those case studies. So you're solving real-world problems that have actually been a problem for a company in the past, and you're working on that problem. So this is a problem for TextFair Retail Company. What we do is we change the name of the company and we also modify the data so that due to data privacy and so on and so forth, okay? So TextFair is a fast-growing consumer gadget company, all right? But what's their problem? They currently manage their sale and customer data using Excel. That's what they have in this company right now. Now, while Excel has been a reliable tool, Excel is not scalable. The more data you have on Excel, the more challenges you'd face with Excel. You also cannot build very dynamic and visually appealing interactive dashboards like you would do with a tool like Power BI or Tableau. And when it comes to integration to databases, SAP HANA, different ERPs, Excel would not do the job better than a Power BI, better than a Tableau, and so on. So that's the problem they face. So you as a data analyst would help this company do what? Transform their reporting from Excel into a more scalable platform like Power BI and so on and so forth. And you get to work on this project together with your facilitator in class. So let me show you what the recording looks like in class. So while in class, you solve the problem together, okay? You'd work with your trainer and you get to do this together. So step by step, you're working on the problem, you're identifying how do I start to migrate from Excel to Power BI? What is Power BI all about? You have the opportunity to stop, to ask questions, you can share your screen, and that's the beauty of transitioning for somebody who is moving from a career path that has nothing to do with tech to becoming a data analyst, for example. Okay? And one last thing before I leave here. You have something we call the drop-in session. The drop-in session is like your makeup class. So somebody has joined the data analytics program. Every Wednesdays, you have a drop-in session. So you want to have a one-on-one interaction with your facilitator. You want to ask questions about something you are doing. You can join this session on a Wednesday. Every Wednesday is 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. You can interact one-on-one with your facilitator. If you've missed the class on Saturday, you've watched the recording, and you want to be brought up to speed because you missed the class, you can join the drop-in session. So this is a makeup class that helps to bring you up to speed if you ever miss a session and so on and so forth, okay? So this is what your live classes look like. It is all interactive. You get to interact with your facilitator, and between the live class and the self-paced platform, which is your LMS, you have a blended learning approach that enables you build the skills you need to build and get into that career path you need to get into as fast as possible. Now, once you've done all of this, you've joined the classes, you are joining the live sessions, you are working with the LMS, you must build project experience. So you see those case studies that you work on, you must build a portfolio and warehouse your portfolio. You warehouse your projects in that portfolio. And let me ask a quick question. We want to hire somebody to build a couch for us, or we want to buy a couch. December is coming, we're getting into the new year, we are changing furniture, we want to redesign and remodel the living room. Okay? Now, Carpenter A, you have two carpenters you're considering. Carpenter A has a CV that says he was the best in his carpentry school and so on. He has a certification for, his carpentry that shows that he went to a carpentry school, and he has that on his CV as well. And Carpenter B has a showroom. In the showroom of Carpenter B, you can see all the couch, the beautiful couch, the quality of the couch. You can touch it, you can feel it, and you can see the quality of the couch in Carpenter B's showroom. My question is, if you are the one buying the couch, who would you buy the couch from? From Carpenter A, who has a CV that says he was the best in building couches, he has a certification that he went to carpentry school, or Carpenter B, who has quality couch that you can touch, you can feel in his or her showroom. So who would you select? Type into the chat and let me know. Carpenter B, Chizoba says B, Queen says B, Inonge says B as well. I also choose B. I'm with Queen, Chizoba, and Temi, and Olusegun. Absolutely. You choose Carpenter B because you want to see what you want to buy. You want to feel the quality, and that's where a lot of people make this mistake. You have certifications, you have a CV that says you are the best, but where is your work? How can I see what you've done? Where is your showroom where I can walk into and touch what you've done and so on and so forth? A lot of people don't have this, and that's why you must have a showroom, and your showroom is your portfolio. So let's see what a portfolio looks like very quickly. All right. I have 3 portfolios right here. I'm going to click on one to show you. I have for a data analyst. Victoria is a data analyst. So I have Victoria, who is a data analyst. I have Lemuel, who is a business analyst. And I have Onwachuku, who is a data engineer. So any program you join at Tenalytics, you build a portfolio. Okay, so let's see what Victoria's portfolio looks like. All right, so because of time, I'm not going to go through the 3. You'll get my slides and you can go through them yourself by clicking on the link. But make sure you fill the attendance form so you receive my slides at the end of our session today. Okay, so I'm just going to wait for this to come up. It's taking a little bit of time to come up. Okay, so this is Victoria Uchemadu. Victoria Uchemadu joined our data analytics program, and this is her portfolio. This is our showroom to people who want to hire her, to people who want to go in and touch, physically see what she's built. So one of the projects Victoria worked on is the Deep Care Hospital ER visit analysis, where she analyzed data of an emergency room in a hospital to help reduce the wait time for patients and to also increase the patient's satisfaction rating. All right, so I want to see what Victoria has built. I want to touch, feel it, interact with it. I can click here. It takes me to the dashboard Victoria built using Tableau. Okay, and anybody at the end of today's session can also interact with this dashboard. All right, so let's see what the dashboard looks like. This is the dashboard that shows me the number of patients, the average age, the average wait time, and so on and so forth. Built using Tableau and hosted on the web. So anybody anywhere in the world can see how amazing Victoria Uchemadu is and what she's been able to build. Just like the carpenter with the showroom. So I can come in here. I want to see for only Q1. I don't want to see the entire report. I can deselect and it will respond to my interaction. It is dynamic. I can select only Q1 and I can see the number of patients that visited the ER in Q1, 1,450, average age 40 years, average wait time 36.2. I can add Q2. I want to see Q1 and Q2, and it would increase number of patients, 4,388. And anybody who sees this knows that whoever built it knows what they are doing. And this is your showroom. Always ensure you have a showroom, just like Victoria. Okay, and there are more projects. We can go to more projects that Victoria has built. Redux Airlines, flight analysis using Excel, Express Tech food delivery service using Tableau. And these are the projects you worked on in class. So as you work on projects, you upload into your portfolio. So we show you how to build a portfolio. We show you how to upload your projects into the portfolio. And this is what makes you stand out. So when you're asking the question, how does Tenalytics participants gain experience? This is how you gain experience. Working on case studies, projects, and showing proof that you've done those things. And that's when you start to get hired. All right. Nestle Product Analytics using Power BI and so on and so forth. Once you've done this, you also need to know, like I mentioned, have employability skills. Having the right CV, the right LinkedIn, knowing where to apply to jobs. So if you're in the UK, for example, I said I'm going to show you just a few because of time. All right. You want to leverage platforms like UK Visa Jobs. You don't want to just go to LinkedIn like everybody else is doing. You want to be specific and unconventional to get that visa sponsor job. Now, UK Visa Job is paid. You have to pay to get access to the platform. So what we do at Tenalytics is we make the payments, we subscribe, and we scrape the jobs and send to you every week, just like I showed you earlier. Okay, so if I go to UK Visa Jobs, for example, Okay, this is what the platform looks like. It is a paid platform. And this is where you can apply for students, graduates, and experienced higher jobs with visa sponsorship in the UK. So what they do is they scrape different jobs and make it available in a single location, and you can apply to these jobs. So if I click on jobs, I want to apply to, let's say, a business analyst role, for example. I can come in here, type business analyst, okay, and I click on search, and I'll see all the jobs available for sponsorship. So currently there are over 55 roles available I can apply to. So I'll just scroll down, look for the ones I'm interested in, click on any one of them, and I can see what the role entails. Okay. And like I always advise people, click on jobs, look at the requirements. What is the role all about? Don't listen to people that tell you, oh, you need to have this, you need to have heaven and earth to get the job. What are the key responsibilities for this role? Okay, owns the end-to-end operational model, ensure scalability, ensure that the fund manager and client requirements for running the mandates are captured, requirements gathering. We talked about this earlier. Okay, read what it's all about. Perform workflow configuration. Okay, maintain all static and reference data in the workflow. Pretty much all the things we've discussed. Key skills and competencies, all right? Strong stakeholder management is part of the things you learn as a business analyst. Strong facilitation skills to elicit information. We talked about elicitation, all right? You won't get to see anything out of place. Nothing that says certification in this particular job requirement. So when you hear people say, oh, I must chase all the certifications in the world, have you looked at the job requirements? Have you done your own research? And that's where you start to apply more strategically and get better results eventually. So this is a visa-sponsored job from UK Visa Jobs, for example, and you can apply to as many as possible. Okay, we're not going to get into the nitty-gritty of applying to jobs today. That's for another session. Another platform I would like to share with you very quickly is, for those of you who have never used this platform before, these are job agencies across the UK where you can also get jobs. They come with visa sponsorship. These are agencies that help companies recruit candidates to get sponsored. One of them is Hanham. Okay, I'm going to probably drop the link in the chat. Okay, I'll copy and drop the link in the chat. You can also get to use these links and apply to jobs across. So if you go to the website, this is a job agency. Okay, so I want to get a job, for example, as a data analyst. These are data jobs. If you want to get data jobs, data engineering, data analyst, business analyst, data HR analyst, BI analyst, you can get them here. So if I come in here, I type data analyst, for example, that's the role I want to apply to. Click on search. You'll get to see jobs, senior data analyst. You see the salaries as well. Data analyst, senior data analyst, senior data analyst, data analyst, and so many roles. Okay, I can click on any of the roles. So this is 45,000 to 55,000 pounds. Now let's click on it. Let's view the job. Let's see what the job entails. Let's see what it's all about. Is it a job we can apply to? Yes or no? What you want to do is go to the skills and experience. What do you need to get this job? All right. Good experience in the BI space, business intelligence space, ideally using Power BI and SQL. So this is a role that requires that you will work primarily with what? Power BI and SQL. That's all. Power BI and SQL. That's all. In the data analytics program, you're going to learn Excel. There is no Excel here. You're going to learn Tableau. There is no Tableau here. You're going to learn problem solving. You're going to learn ChatGPT for analytics. All they need you to learn is what? Power BI and SQL. That's all you need to bring to this job. It's a visa-sponsored job, 45,000 to 55,000 pounds, depending on how well you are able to negotiate, which is something we also prepare you. Negotiation, salary negotiation. For those in the US, the UK, Canada, how do you get these 55,000 pounds? It's available to you, make no mistake. All right, but how do you get it? A lot of people think it's only by experience, but no, you can negotiate as long as you can show them the value that you bring to that role. All right, so one other one I'll show you very quickly. If you're in the US today, you are joining us from the US, and if you're in Canada, I'm also going to show you a platform you can leverage. We use these platforms, they give us the very best results. If you're in the US, you want to go to platforms like JobRite. I'm going to drop that in the link as well. Okay, I'll drop that in the chat so you can use this. What's the cost of the program? I'm coming to that. We are wrapping up in the next 10 to 15 minutes. All right, I'm just going to show you this, talk about the next cohort, how to join the next cohort, and that's pretty much it. Now, this platform, for anybody in the US who is not using JobRite to apply to jobs, then you are doing yourself a massive disservice. JobRite is one of the most fantastic platforms to help you get that job the fastest. Okay, now I taught how to use JobRite in one of my mentorship sessions. JobRite would show you, first of all, you upload your CV, you ask for the type of roles you want to be matched with. So here, this is a project coordinator role. And at the right-hand side, you can see I match this job, or the CV that I have uploaded matches this job by 36%. There is no way you apply with 36% and get the job. It's impossible. So what do? You have to tailor your CV. Okay, and that was what I taught during the mentorship session. I showed that earlier. How do you then take this CV, tailor the CV, come back here, upload it to turn the 36% to 90-something%? Okay, you can also tell JobRite, just like you type into ChatGPT. Maybe I don't want to apply to project management roles anymore. I want to apply to data analyst roles. I can come in here and type, show me only data analyst roles. And I hit enter. Okay, and I'll click on go. Now I'll no longer see project management. I now see only data analyst roles. You can further specify, oh, there are some data analyst roles I have been seeing, they come with some skills or tools I don't know how to use. I can come back here and say, show me data analyst roles that excludes Python. Okay, I want to take out one specific skill. All right, there are no changes needed to be made to your search criteria. Let me know. Okay, so perhaps the jobs they are showing me, the 82 jobs, match my criteria based on my CV. But if you see jobs that you don't want, there are specific skills, you can say exclude a particular skill, and it would exclude those skills for you. Now, this is a data analyst role, customer operations. If I want to apply to this job, it's a 74% match, and there is a possibility for a H-1B sponsorship. This employer can petition for a H-1B visa for me. I can see that I lack about 22% of the skills required. Industry experience, I lack 35%. Experience level, I lack 21%. I can tailor my CV to increase my match before I go ahead and apply. So if you're not using JobRite, you are not doing the right thing. Now, one other strategy I always advise people to use is, apart from applying to jobs, you want to be unconventional. You want to get access to companies directly. So if you're in the UK, you are in the US, you are in Canada, you are in any region, look for the innovation hubs in those regions. And I'll give you a very good one. Tenalytics participated in this particular accelerator. It's called the Alberta Catalyzer. Okay, Alberta. So let me just type it in on Google. Okay, Alberta Catalyzer and hit enter. All right, so for those of you in Alberta, Calgary, Edmonton, I'm showing you something that will make a difference in you getting a job, okay? Now, the Alberta Catalyzer program, right, click on the link. It is an accelerator that accepts companies that want to scale, okay? Tenalytics participated in this recently. Now, what you might want to do when you get to the website, go to events, look for the events they have happening in the coming week, in the next coming days, and attend those events. So what happens is you have companies gather here every Wednesdays, every Mondays, every Tuesdays, and when they find somebody like you that is good, you want to get a job as a business analyst, data scientist, you have access directly to the founders and the co-founders of these companies. And that's where opportunities can start coming up. So if you click on events, it takes you to the upcoming events they have. Live pitch nights. Last week, Thursday, we participated. So you'd see, this is me right here, Adeza. This is Efemena right here, the co-founder. And we participated last week, Wednesday, where we pitched in a showcase across to different investors and so on and so forth. Okay, now something interesting. You see this lady right here. She has a company where she has it's an app she's built to help doctors calculate their rates and things like that. And she needed somebody. She needed a data engineer to work with her. And what we did, very simple. Oh, what's the problem you're having? She was complaining that, oh, the person she's working with is not doing the type of job. He's charging her $15,000 and so on. And all we did was connect her to one of our students, and that person is currently working with her at the moment. And that's how you connect to companies, you connect to founders by attending events like this. If you're in Edmonton, it happens. The Edmonton Unlimited, where the live pitch Alberta Catalyzer is located, is on Jasper Avenue. So if you click on this link, for example, it takes you to how to register for the event. It happened last week, obviously, so you can't attend it anymore. So Tenalytics got into this accelerator. You get to see us right there. That's myself, that's Efemena, the co-founder. And it shows the companies that are helping, Tenalytics helping Africans in the Black community to land jobs across different regions. We've helped over 2,500 Africans launch successful tech careers in less than 4 years. Okay, so you want to attend, if you're in London, you're in Manchester, attend pitch events like this, interact, and you get to get opportunities that you don't get sitting on the couch in your homes. We provide you with job references after preparing you for interviews and you've gotten that job. Don't request for a reference. We write references for you. You have on-the-job support if you need that as well. I talked about the mentorship sessions already. You network and interact. We show you how to do this, and that's what gets you the job. Okay? Now, we've talked about this. You need more than just your technical skills. You need technical, you need employability skills to land the job. And that's where we do our best work. We focus on employability, your CV review sessions, LinkedIn optimization, how to navigate the job market, where to apply, how to apply, interview prep, references, writing references for you, ensuring you are able to get access to the jobs that you need, and so on. And that's why when you join Tenalytics, you don't join as a student, you join as a contractor or a consultant. So you can use Tenalytics to get a reference when you get that job. You want to show recruiters that you're already on the job, and that's what positions you to get the type of job that you want. Your weekly mentorship sessions and Upwork optimization where you get to build an Upwork profile that enables you work as a freelancer across multiple regions. I just showed you the Alberta Catalyzer program. We moved from the UK to expand in North America. And one of the vehicles we're using to expand into the North American markets is the Alberta Catalyzer program. So you'd have the opportunity to get to work with us directly if you are in Canada, for example, if you are in the US, and so on and so forth. All the amazing work we are doing and we've done across the UK, we are bringing it to North America for you guys to also make that transition and make the switch into the tech ecosystem. Okay, so this is Rita who got a job after completing our data analytics program, and she's saying she got a sponsorship right here. So when the Home Office made a lot of changes in April this year, Rita immediately requested that she needed sponsorship. So her job did not come with sponsorship, but she had met the salary threshold. She also had given 110% of herself to that job. All right. So they didn't want to lose her. She requested, we spoke with her, she requested for sponsorship, and Rita was able to get the sponsorship. Okay, so that's the screenshot she sent to us. And she's saying, thank you so much. I'm grateful to Tenalytics because the program taught me SQL, which is what I used to get this fixed term contract job. Thank you very, very much. Okay, so many other success stories. I'm going to leave this. You'll have the opportunity to listen, click on the link and watch them on your own. So how do you join our next cohort? The next cohort would commence on the 7th of December. That's the last cohort for 2024. So if you want to get your journey started this year, so you can have an amazing 2025, start on a fantastic note, this is the cohort you want to get into. And if you have commitments in December already, but you still want to get into the tech ecosystem, first thing in 2025, our next cohort, the first cohort in 2025 would commence on the 4th of January, 2025. What does it take to get in? All the programs I listed, all the 8 career paths, the business analyst, the data analyst, the amounts to get into any of those areas is $750 for everything we've discussed today. But we have an amazing discount, like I mentioned at the beginning. So instead of getting in at $750, you have a 20% discount where you get to pay just $600 to get into the program. And I'm going to show you how this works and how you can get in. And we have limited slots available because we made the discount available about 2 weeks ago. And all the slots were taken. We had 20 slots. They were taken within a week. And now we are opening just 20 more slots left for till the end of the year. Okay, so the discount and registration for the December cohort ends on Wednesday. On Wednesday, the discount and the registration ends. So on the 4th of December, we are closing registration for the cohorts that will commence on the 7th. All right. So if you want to get into this cohort in December, for example, or you want to get into the January cohort, how do you do that? All you have to do is click on this link, and I'm going to show you how to secure the discount and all of that. So once you click on that link, it takes you into the enrollment center. The enrollment center is where you get to select the career path and make payments and all of that. And I'll show you how to do that. You want to chat with us, have a conversation with us, you can click here. It takes you into WhatsApp, or you can call any of my colleagues on any of these numbers, and somebody would get in touch with you if you have any questions or anything like that. Now let's go back and let's see. You want to get access to all the brochures, the data analytics brochure, the data science brochure. You can also do that by clicking on this link. Okay, so let's say I want to join the data analytics program, for example. All I need to do is come in here, click on register for DA, and it takes me into the data analytics program. And based on your location, you'll get to see the currency for you to make payments. So the discount you have, instead of paying $750, if you're paying in pounds, instead of paying £625, you get to pay just £500. So you have an amazing, amazing discount. So you can make payments, one-time payments of £500, or you can make 2 monthly payments of $250, or 3 monthly payments of $166. So let's take, for example, I want to take advantage of the monthly payments, the 3 monthly payments of $166 every month. I can click on this. I click on proceed to pay, and I'll see when I'll make payments. So I make my first payment today, I make the next payment in December, and I make my final payment in January. So I click on proceed. So I come in here, I enter my name. Okay, I enter my name, I enter my email. All right, I enter my phone number, and then I click on pay for products. So when you click on pay for products, you enter your card details. And once you enter your card details and you click on confirm payments, you will receive a confirmation into the email you have entered right here. Confirmation of payment, and it also comes with a link for you to complete your registration. And once you make the first installment, that gets you into the class. You start your class on the 7th of December, next week, Saturday, and you get your journey into the tech ecosystem started. Okay? Now, what if I'm registering for cybersecurity? The same process. Go to cybersecurity in the enrollment center, click on register for cybersecurity, and then if I'm in Canada or I'm in the US, all I need to do is change the currency. Okay, so let's say I'm in the US, for example, and I want to make payments. I come in here, click on this, click on US dollars, and I get to make payments in US dollars. One-time payments, 2 monthly payments, 3 monthly payments. Okay, if I'm in Canada, I come in here, I click on CAD, Canadian dollars, and I can also make my payments in Canadian dollars. If I'm in Nigeria, I want to make payments in Naira, I can also do the same. I come in here, I click on NGN, I'll see the option of Naira, I click on that, and I can make payments in Naira. If I'm in Europe, somewhere around Europe, I can come in here, EUR, and you'd see, let me see if there's Euro. Okay, I'm not sure we have euros currently activated at the moment. All right, but I'll show you how you can also get to make payments if you want to pay in euros. Okay, so you can pay in Naira, you can pay in pounds, dollars, Canadian dollars across. Now, if I'm in Europe, somewhere around Europe, and I also want to make payments, from the enrollment center, you'll see a link called Wise Payment Link. And this is only for those who can't find their currencies on that platform. So if you can't find your currency, come in here, Wise Payment Link, and then you can select different currencies right here. Okay, so I can select US dollars, for example, and I can make my payments in dollars. I get debited in euros. All right, so I want to make my first installment of $200. I select that, enter description. I'm paying for the data analytics program. I click on continue to pay, and then I can select I want to pay with my card, Visa or MasterCard, and all of that. I can enter my name, enter my email, my card number, and then I get to make payments. But this is for those who can't find their currency on the payment platform. But as long as you can find your currency right here, this is the best place for you to make your payments. And once you make payments, You get an automated confirmation to your email. You also get a link for you to complete your registration. And once you do that, you will get yourself into the program. Okay, now remember, the discount is not open perpetually. The discount is open to the first 20 people to make payments. Once we hit 20, the registration closes for the cohorts. Okay, or once we also get to Wednesday, the 4th of December, whichever comes first. If Wednesday comes first, we close the registration and the discount. If the first 20 comes first, we close registration and we close discounts for the year. Okay, so take advantage of the discount for those who want to get into the program. All right, now I'm going to take a few questions from the charts, and as I take those questions, I'm going to also show you how do you get to interact with us. There are so many platforms. You can interact with us through our website. You can interact with us on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, and across multiple platforms. Okay, now one of the things you also want to take note of is at the end of today's session, all right, if you go on YouTube and search for Tenalytics. Go on YouTube and search Tenalytics. Okay, Tenalytics will pop up on YouTube. Click on the Tenalytics logo, and this takes you to our page. And you have access to numerous videos over the last 4 years. All right, so you can watch videos. Chukwemeka took this session. Isosa took this session. I took this session 2 weeks ago. Future-proof tech career path, AI won't replace. Okay, now you also have testimonials. So you can come in here, click on the testimonials, and get to see the amazing professionals that have done the things you're trying to do. Okay, someone like Abisola, for example, who got a job as a machine learning engineer. First of all, Python curriculum designer, then machine learning engineer. This professional got a job as sharpen her skills in her current role. Oluwafikayo got a job as a business solutions analyst. This gentleman got a job in 2 months after his internship. This amazing lady got a job as a customer insights analyst. Lois landed a job as a project manager after completing our business analysis. She's in the UK after completing her master's. Ngozi Aderemi got a job as a business analyst in Huddersfield after completing our business analysis program, and so many professionals. Okay, Bisola, who is in Poland, landed a job as a people data scientist with QVC in Poland. So you can get to listen to all these amazing people. Listen to Vivian, who first got her first job remotely in France and got another one when she moved to the UK as well. And that's where you can connect with us. All right. You can also connect with us on our website. All right. So if you go to www.tenalytics.io, it takes you to the Tenalytics website and you can interact with us. You can send us a message. You can connect with us. You can also connect with us on LinkedIn. So if you go on LinkedIn, all right, and you search for Tenalytics, okay, search for Tenalytics, and you get to see all the amazing professionals that have joined us. We are currently having a hackathon, which started today, the 30th of November, and you get to interact with us across board. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, follow us across all social media platforms, and search for me as well, and follow me at Adeza Suleiman. I'll be willing to connect with everybody on the call today. Okay, so yeah, so if you come to our website, for example, you'd have where you can chat with us. There is a chat button right here at the down right corner if you want to discuss, chat with us and all of that. And you also have access to all the programs we have discussed today. So let's take more questions before we wrap up our session. Look like you guys are most vast in the UK, Canada. Do you have people train and get jobs in the US? Absolutely, Rosemary. All right, and I'm going to show you that very quickly. Our participants cut across different regions, not just in one. I can't possibly show you every single place. We're based in the UK. Now we are based in Canada to expand into the North American market. So naturally, would have more people from the region where we operate from. But guess what? Getting a job and success is a strategy, and it cuts across. We have participants from Nigeria, we have participants from the US, we have participants from the UK that have gotten jobs, okay? So this is Benem, for example. Benem joined our HR analytics program. Let me highlight this very quickly. She joined us in January this year. She completed her program in April, 4 months, and she got a job in August as a HR analyst in the US. And this is Benem sending us a message saying, "Hi, Mary, I have an update. I got the job." Mary is the HR analytics lead that will train you in HR analytics. And Mary, she sent this message to Mary. "Thank you so much, and Tenalytics too. I'm very happy that I took this opportunity. I'll be starting on the 19th of August. I also wanted to let you know that I will send the internship project for review by Friday. I've been a bit busy and I've only been working on the dashboard, but I'll try to wrap up by Friday." So that's Benem. Benem is in the US, okay? And so many other professionals. Our participants cut across the globe, like I said. Let me see more questions. Okay, so I think Oluwaseun is answering some of the questions already. What are the chances of getting a remote job as a data scientist in Nigeria? You have very good chances, high chances of landing the job from Nigeria. And I shared the story of 2 professionals. Let me see if I can find them again. Yes, I shared the story of Abdurrashid. Abdurrashid used to live in Niger State, but he's currently in Abuja. He moved from Niger State to Abuja, and he works as a data scientist with Child 420 in the US remotely from Nigeria. All right. So for the gentleman asking the question, that's one success story for you. Okay, so let me see more questions that I have from the chat. So one other thing we are going to do, which I want to also elaborate on before I leave today, is when you've completed payments, let's say you've completed the first installment, you will receive a confirmation in your email, and it comes with a link. And this is what the link looks like. Okay, I'd like to share this with you because some of you would still be confused. "Oh, Adeza, I'm considering joining, either the data science or the data analytics. I'm not sure. Or I'm thinking of cybersecurity or data engineering." You still have that confusion, okay? So while filling this form, all you have to do, after filling the details, you click on next, type of payments. These are pretty much, standard stuff. Terms and conditions, you read that, click on next, okay, enter your name, your last name, gender, all of that, click on next. Yeah, you have the terms and conditions. You want to reach out to us, enquiries@tenalytics.io. Somebody would respond. You can reach out to us on phone call, any of these numbers, or WhatsApp. Somebody would also get across to you. When did you make payment? Select the date, upload a screenshot of your payment, click on next. Next. Now, for those of you who might be a little bit confused in making a decision, and you want to sit down with me, have a one-on-one conversation, we talk about your previous experience. So I've been in Nigeria, I have 15 years experience in retail, or I've worked as a customer, as a relationship manager, or I've worked in the risk department or in FinCon, and I'm not sure which career path to go into. Now, if you know the career path you want to get started in, simply select it from one of these options, okay? Cybersecurity, business analysis, data engineering. But if you're not sure and you want to have a clarity session with myself and other experts on the team, you can also select I need to speak with a professional. So once you select I need to speak with a professional, some would organize a clarity session during the week where we get to listen to your questions and we help you navigate to make a decision. We don't make the decision for you, but we help you based on this, based on that, based on your work experience, based on this. This is what you should select. All right. And for those who have time, you want to get started immediately on the 7th of December, you can select that from here. If you have commitments in December, you have the opportunity to start on the 4th of January. The beauty is you also get the same discounts. By January, the fees would change. You're not going to see the discounted fees anymore. You're not going to see the $750 fee anymore. The fees would change. So the best way to get started at the current fee, where any future changes would not affect you, is to get started immediately. All right. So you can select December, you can select the 4th of January to start, or you can select to start on the 8th of February. Okay, so those are the three options you have to start for the next cohort. We run our program from January all the way till December. Our first cohort in 2024 started in January, and we have the last cohort the 7th of December. Okay, our first cohort in 2025 would start on the 4th of January. Getting in today means you get in at a discount at the current fee of the discounted $600 if you're paying in dollars, or £500 if you're paying in pounds, or 900 Canadian dollars if you're paying in Canadian dollars. Okay, if you are joining the same January cohort and making payments in January, you're going to be paying a different fee, which would be more than what it is today. Okay, I hope I answered that question. So let me see if I can take more questions from the chat. From the presentation, you made a lot of reference to data analytics. It seems that is your niche. I did not notice any testimony on cybersecurity. That's why you need to go to our YouTube page, Uche. All right. Cybersecurity, number one, when it comes to testimonial, because of the sensitivity of the role, not everybody is confident recording a video. I just got a cybersecurity role for this company. It's a sensitive role, okay? But we have them on our YouTube page. And naturally, you have more people, when you look at absolute numbers, joining the data career path. So when you have more people in a specific career path, you are bound to have more success stories from there. Okay, so that's the logical answer to that. I hope I answered your question. Adekombi Yetunde, okay, I'm sure you sent a message earlier. I'm just trying to see. Where do we find this form that indicates speaking with a professional? That's after you've made payments at Adekombi. So once you've made payments, like I mentioned, you've clicked on any of the programs you're interested in. Say you're interested in business analysis, and you've clicked on that, and you've selected the option that you want. You want to make payment in 3 installments, and you've clicked on proceed to pay. Proceed. You enter your name, Adekombi Yetunde. You enter your email, and once you click on pay for products, you enter your card, your credit or debit card. Once you make payments, that link where you can select, I need to speak with a professional, you get it automatically to your email. Okay, so that's how you get it. I hope I answered that question, Yetunde. Okay, I'm just checking in to see if I have more questions. I need to speak with a professional, Osamede. Okay, I think I explained this already. Which of this is a chance of getting a sponsorship job? I think I explained that already. Data analytics, data science are some of the most fantastic career paths when it comes to getting visa sponsored jobs. So picture this, Aziz. Every single year in the UK, you have 178,000 to 230,000 roles that are data related that are left unfilled. They are left unfilled every single year. So those roles are available. They are eligible for the skilled worker visa for you to get sponsorship and get a COS and transition. In Canada, yes, we are a registered business in Canada, Edmonton, Alberta. Okay, so if you search for Tenalytics, you'd find us in Edmonton, Alberta. I'm an international business student. Do you have student got jobs with firms like McKinsey? Absolutely. McKinsey, Deloitte, Accenture, in the UK, not in Canada. So let me share a bit of some success stories in Canada for the gentleman that asked. Okay, so let me specifically show some people in Canada. Okay, this is Abigail. Abigail got a job with the government of Alberta. You have Busola, Busola Adesonya. Okay, I'm going to take you to Busola's LinkedIn, and I want to use that to also show you something. All right, so let's go to Busola Adesonya. Busola got a job as a performance analyst with Desjardins in Ontario. Okay, so that's Busola right there. All right, Busola currently works as a performance analyst with Desjardins. She joined our program in March this year. Okay, she got this opportunity in June and she started the job in July. You'd also get to see that her last role was with Tenalytics. And that's why I explained the other time. On your LinkedIn, on your CV, you want to list Tenalytics as one of your experience or part of your experience. So when she got this opportunity, Desjardins reached out to us. Okay, and I'm going to show you that. I think I have it somewhere here. Yes. So when she got that opportunity, she sent me an email. Okay, so Busola sent me an email, and Busola said, "Hi, Adeza. I'm about to get this job. We are prepared for our interviews. Okay, I'm done with the interviews, and now they have requested for a reference." So she reached out to me, sending me this email. This was on the 6th of June this year. So she's saying that please kindly look out for communications from them. On the 7th of June, Desjardins reached out to me. Friday, June 7th, they reached out to me. And they wanted me to provide a reference for Busola by filling and completing some details using this link. I filled the reference, completed it for Busola, and about 2 weeks after, the 24th of June, this is Busola saying, "Good morning, Adeza. I want to update you about the reference you assisted me with. I got an offer from them on Friday and I agreed to it. Thank you very much for all the support you provided at Tenalytics. I hope you have a great day." And that's Busola right there on the job, working with Desjardins as a performance analyst. Okay, so that's one example of, a professional who got her journey started in March, and by June, she had gotten a job. Okay, let me see if I can show you one more, and then I think this is Olugbemi. Olugbemi used to work in Nigeria with one of the largest banks in Nigeria. He left Nigeria to Canada, and he was very specific that he didn't want to do any menial job. So he joined our data analytics program. I think, let me go to one that is more updated, yes. So he joined our data analytics program. This is the same person, Olugbemi. Now, his very first job, he got this 4 months after moving to Canada. This was his first job in Canada. He had never worked before, and he got that job as a business data analyst with the Law Depot. From this job, which I prepared him for the interviews, I wrote his reference as well for him. Now he's currently on his second job as a solutions analyst with Wawanesa Insurance. So if you're in Canada, you definitely know Wawanesa Insurance. They're one of the biggest insurance firms in Canada. He's currently working with them as a solutions analyst as well. Okay, so I hope I answered that question for you. I'm an international business student. Should I go for any of the two would work? So being a business student does not necessarily tie you to a specific career path in data analytics or business analysis. Okay, so what I'll advise you to do is, where do you see yourself? As a business analyst, you are leading from the front. You are setting up workshops. You're analyzing processes, interacting with stakeholders, conducting interviews to elicit information. So you're always there leading from the front. It's a people-facing job. You can't do the job from behind your computer. You have to interact with people on a regular basis. The data analyst, on the other hand, you can walk behind your computer, build your dashboards, come up with your reports, and you have your presentations maybe weekly, monthly, or quarterly, depending on the type of organization you work with. So sometimes that's a deciding factor. For some people, they want to be in a position where they get to do their jobs with not too much human interaction. Okay, but what I would say is, being in international business as a student does not tie you to a specific career path as a data analyst or a business analyst. A business analyst does not manage business. A business analyst does not lead businesses. A business analyst assesses businesses and helps the business grow by optimizing their processes and by also ensuring that they're able to grow in revenue and reduce losses. Okay, so when you're studying something on managing business, an MBA, for example, what you are doing essentially is managing the business. When it comes to supply chain, data analytics, Mabel, data analytics is the best pathway for you to combine with your supply chain skills or your supply chain knowledge. And that's where you have supply chain analytics. Okay, so these are questions we get to answer during the clarity session. So once again, I'll advise you, and there's so many other testimonials. You can see this on my slide right here. I can't possibly go through every single one of them, but you have them on the slide. Once you receive my slide at the end of today's session, you can read about the story of Olamide. Olamide, who joined us as a business analyst. He had experience, but he couldn't get a job. And all I did for Olamide was help him with his CV and helped him add Excel, Power BI, and SQL to his business analysis skills. And today, Olamide works as a business data analyst with an energy company. And he got this job a month after completing our program. And there are so many other professionals you can get to listen to. Somebody like Temi. Temi was a lawyer, but today Temi is a business analyst. Somebody like Idris. Idris worked with Jaguar Land Rover as a data engineer after completing our data engineering program. And today, he's a senior analytics engineer with QuantSpark, a technology-driven company. You have somebody like Sonia, who works as a HR analyst with British American Tobacco, and so many other professionals, okay? You have Benga, who works in Poland as a business data analyst, and so on and so forth, okay? So once again, take advantage of the discounts, get your 2025 started on a high note. The next cohort would commence on the 7th of December, and the first in 2025 would commence on the 4th of January. You can get into any of the cohorts by securing your discounts, and we get to work with you to help you make that transition, just like we've helped over 2,500 people. All right? So if you've gotten value for your time today, type into the charts, yes, I got value. Okay, so this is a free session. Everybody joining today. And I want to see if you had an amazing time, you've learned one or two things today, type in a yes into the chat as we try to wrap up our session. Okay, thank you very much, iPhone K. Olusegun had an amazing time. Rosalind, Mabel, Chinedu, absolutely fantastic. All right, so we'll call it a day at this point. For those of you who have made payments, some payments came in while we were on the call. Take advantage of the discount. The first 20 gets in. You want to have a clarity session, asking one or two questions, just like you have been asking. When you've completed the first installment, for example, fill the form, select I need to speak with a professional, and you get to see me in one of your clarity sessions. It's more relaxed, fewer people, and I'm able to take those one-on-one questions for you. All right, so start 2025 on an amazing note, and let's work with you to get you to that next level. Eloho says, I hope I testify soon like Busola. Absolutely, Eloho. That would be the case in the next couple of months. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Have an amazing time. Until we meet in another session again, follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, across all social media platforms. So you're on top of all the amazing stuff we are doing within the space. Thank you very much, guys, and have an amazing, amazing weekend ahead of you. Cheers, everyone.